Aloha, everybody, and I'm welcoming you to the candidate session for Joe Biden delegate candidates from Congressional District 1. This is possibly the largest contingent of delegate candidates that we have, which is exciting. And so what we're doing is doing sessions for each of the candidates in each of the congressional districts. And we've invited the candidates, but we've also invited those folks who are qualified to vote in this particular election. So the only folks in the room are basically people who are going to exchange with each other, being candidates and voters. Subsequently, later on, as I said before, this will be videotaped and available on social media. The leaders of the two campaigns, Bart Dame for Bernie Sanders and Tyler Dos Santos Tam for Joe Biden, will have the links to the videotapes on YouTube, and we'll make them accessible to the world after this is taped and distributed. But right now, I'd like to welcome you and say it's great that you're here and great that you are running to represent, hopefully, Joe Biden at the Democratic National Convention. What we're going to do is just have a couple of minutes for each of you to just basically introduce yourselves and talk story with us and let us know who you are. And we're going to go in alphabetical order. And so on the A frame is Amy Agbayani. Aloha, Amy.
Aloha, everybody. As mentioned, my name is Amy Agbayani. My complete name is Amafil, America Philippines, and I am a Filipino immigrant. And I've been in Hawaii for over 5 decades. I came here to study at UH. My professional work and my community service is to be an advocate for civil rights. And so I'm supporting Joe Biden because I believe he has a good track record on civil rights. And I'm also right now concerned, like others, with the Black Lives Matter. And I believe Joe Biden can help us deal with racism. And I also support Joe Biden because he will be helping us have a better immigration policy. So I'm pledged to help the Biden campaign, and I'm very happy to support our Hawaii community voters too, as well as voters from other states. Mahalo.
Mahalo, Amy. That was wonderful. Thank you. Our next candidate is Robert Mikala Armstrong, better known as Bob Armstrong. Aloha, Bob.
Aloha, and thank you so much for this opportunity. I think everybody on this chat supports Joe Biden, so I guess what's important is for us to distinguish ourselves from one another. I'm in my 8th year here in Hawaii. I also lived, ironically, in the place where Joe is from. He's from Scranton, Pennsylvania, and I'm from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, which is right next door. But more importantly, since I've lived here for 8 years, I've tried to be as integrated as I could be in Hawaiian life. I've worked at all levels of government, the city, the state, and the federal government for the post office. For the state, I was Governor Ige's first marketing director for the Homeless Summit, or Summit on Homelessness. We had 337 participants, and by the end of the day, we sheltered 70 plus people because of my efforts of bringing together groups and nonprofits and leaders from the community for this important effort. I want to say up front, I do not work for the Ige administration, nor am I particularly supportive of his administration because of that experience. It was a one-off type of thing. I am currently in the nonprofit world and have been a supporter of the party. Right after this president was elected, I organized a series of talk stories. They were held at Manoa Burns School of Medicine to try and make sense of the election and why we lost. That was the first one. And what do we do from this point forward? It had a good attendance and a wide range of opinions, and I was very proud to do that for the party. I'm also was a precinct party chairperson for the Democratic Party. I've always been a funder of the Democratic Party. And currently I serve on the Chinatown, downtown Honolulu neighborhood board and try to integrate the party and its goals with my work in battling homelessness. And right now we're of course very particularly interested in how the police function in our community and across the state. So those are the types of things I bring to this table, the type of activism and the type of service that I believe in. And I sure hope that I can count on your support as the delegate for Joe Biden. Mahalo.
Mahalo, Bob. The next person on the candidates list is William Brown Jr. Is William in the room? No? Then our next candidate up is Hugh Castell. Hugh. Aloha. Can you unmute Hugh?
Okay, can you hear me now? Am I coming in?
Yes, loud and clear.
Yes.
Aloha, everyone. I'm Hugh Castell, and I live in Eva Beach. I'm a retired physician and medically disabled Vietnam veteran. I'm also a lifetime member of Disabled American Veterans. And I work to support the improvement of medical benefits for all veterans. And tremendous progress has occurred over the years. These improvements are now threatened by the Trump administration. I know Joe will take care of us. As a retired physician, I'm also very upset by the Trump-led Republican attack on the Affordable Care Act. I'm for universal health care, but we need to start by repairing and improving Obamacare. Biden has a very doable plan to restore and build on ACA to ensure more than 97% of all Americans and rein in the greedy pharmaceutical companies and make medication affordable for all of us. I became active in politics after watching George W. Bush lie to us about weapons of mass destruction and needlessly invade Iraq. And like my wife, Sandra, who I suppose will be up next, I had to get involved in politics. And so I began in 2008 to donate to the Democrat Party and to work campaigning in all the national Democrat, for all the national Democrat candidates in every primary and election. Right now we have two competing forces, the pandemic and the economy. We're in uncharted territory. As a retired physician, I want to be part of the discussion and to urge that science rule the day. The issues of healthcare, the pandemic, and the economy should be the primary issue of the 2020 campaign. How do we save people and how do we save the economy? I want to be part of that discussion. The Trump administration has no interest or plans for our health or the economy. Therefore, we need a really good Democrat like Joe Biden as president to navigate us through these troubled times. The delegation of the National Convention should include disabled veterans and trained medical professions. As a delegate, I will be able to work with other delegates in the state and at the National Convention to bring about the important discussions. I kindly ask for your vote. Please don't hesitate to call if you have any questions. Mahalo.
Mahalo, Hugh. Mahalo. Okay, you were right. Sandra Castell is next. Aloha, Sandra.
Aloha.
Sandra, please unmute yourself. Go ahead and try again. There you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, you're good. Thank you.
Oh, sorry about the delay.
No
I'm
problem.
Sandra Castell. I want to take some moments to extend my grateful thanks to the Hawaii State Democratic Party for their fantastic outreach and successful first preferential primary poll. I don't hear any complaints about it. People love it. I also want to thank you all for being here. I've written to you an email and a bio, which the party sent to you. In this talk, I want to stress two of my priorities and what was important to me. The first is 20% of the state population, the Native Hawaiians, who really need more self-determination. Right now, we have tourism deciding who we are. My goal is productive, amicable relationship with Hawaii State and the federal government. We are 20% of the population, and this delegation should have Hawaiians in it. Barack Obama was really great. He implemented a legislation to help self-determination, and that's Code of Federal Regulation 43, Part 50. And you can look it up. And I think Barack Obama started this, and I think Joe Biden will start this, and the Hawaiians will be happier, and then we'll all be happier. Now, I will talk about helping future Joe Biden. When he met him, he says, I know who you are. I know your name. I know what you do. And I want to say, I love you. But instead, I just settled for hugs. Joe Biden said in one of his debates, he would have an Obama-Biden president. And I cheered because there's so much unfinished work that needs to be redone, such as Obamacare. I know what he's talking about, and I know how to help him in every which way. So I helped Obama Biden for 2 terms, and now I want the 3rd term to finish the work we started. Basically, that's all I have. And in the bios, it didn't have my email, but I sent an email to you. So if you want to have more questions answered, go ahead. I also want to say one thing. My work for the president and Joe Biden was always done under Organizing for America and Organizing for Action. At all times, President Obama directed the message, when to give the message, and who to give the message. Generally, the message to the community was given before President announced and Vice President announced what they were planning. And I want to help Joe Biden very much. And I want to help the Native Hawaiians very much. So I'm really excited for this opportunity. And I'll be really grateful for your vote. And don't forget to call me or email if you have any questions. And thank you for the time.
Good job, Sandra. Mahalo. Our next person is James Danner. Is James in the room? No? If not, then let's go on to Tyler Dos Santos Tam. Is Tyler here?
Yep. Aloha, everyone.
Oh, there you are.
I'm Tyler Dos Santos Tam, and I'm the coordinator for Hawaii for Biden. I'm also a candidate for national delegate. I'd like to ask for your support in this race. I've been working with the campaign for a few months now, and we've been hard at work, not only getting us through the primary, but setting ourselves up for the general election here in Hawaii. And I'd like to be a national delegate so we can connect with the other states and be able to utilize our resources here in the islands so we can support our friends in battleground states. I'm really happy that members of our Biden volunteers here in Hawaii have made thousands of calls into other states. And that's what we're going to need to do in order to make sure that Joe Biden's elected. whether that's Nevada or Arizona, to really important states that have large Native Hawaiian populations, Pacific Islanders, and Hawaii expats of all varieties. So I'm going to spend the rest of my time just making a few announcements. First of all, we have bumper stickers. They're free. We have them here. Email us at hawaiiforbiden@gmail.com with your name and address, and we'll put one out in the mail for you. We also have yard signs coming in a few days. And if you'd like a yard sign, please also email us at hawaiiforbiden@gmail.com. That's FOR spelled out, hawaiiforbiden@gmail.com. Third thing is the national campaign has sent us some template letters to the editor. And if you'd like to sign your name onto one of them, we'll share the templates with you. If you're interested in this, also email us at hawaiiforbiden@gmail.com, and we'll connect you with our letter writing folks. Last thing is if you'd like to call into or text into other states, which you can do right from home, right from your computer. And if you text people, you don't even need to use your own phone number. They won't know it was your number. You can visit the Action Center at joebiden.com. It's right in that front menu that you'll see when you log onto the site. It's really easy, and we've already done thousands of calls and texts from Hawaii into other states. I hope we can run up those totals and make a difference nationwide. So thank you. And with that, just want to ask again for your support. Mahalo.
Mahalo, Tyler. Mahalo. Okay, now Stephanie Fitzpatrick with the double phone computer. Where are you, Stephanie? Aloha.
Hold on. I'm gonna get Stephanie set up here. Just a second.
Okay.
I'm Stephanie. I'm unmuting your phone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Stephanie, you're gonna need to turn off your speaker on your computer so that we don't get an echo when you're speaking. I'm just muting you for a second, Stephanie. I'll unmute you now. I'm unmuting you now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. There's still a bit of an echo.
A lot.
You know, you're talking to us through your phone, correct? So maybe if you move away from your computer while you're speaking to us.
Actually, she just needs to turn down the volume on the computer.
I asked, or turn the computer volume down or off.
It's off right now. Can you
Now
hear
you
me?
sound good. Yes, you sound good.
Oh, good.
Great.
That was good. Thank you. Thank you very much. Am I on now?
You're great.
Okay.
Go ahead and
Hi,
start.
everyone. Oh, thank you for your help. I'm Stephanie Leigh Fitzpatrick, and a bit about me. I was born and raised here in Honolulu, grew up in Manoa Valley. I moved to Makiki Valley, the neighboring valley, in 1975. In 1978, I joined the Democratic Party under Richard Port's encouragement, telling me all about the good values of the party. I also joined the Young Democrats and the Rainbow Coalition about that time. And I'm currently on party caucuses such as the LGBT, the Women's Caucus, Hawaiian Affairs, and Kupuna Caucus. I'm active also outside of the party I'm a board member of ADA Hawaii, which is Americans for Democratic Action Hawaii, a progressive group. And in different ways, I sort of straddle two camps, both the Biden and the Bernie in philosophy and thinking. I've done party work from my precincts and just as district chair of Makiki for 8 years. And I'm currently on the state central committee, the governing body of the party for Makiki, Manoa combination, and since 2012. Also in 2012, I was fortunate to become an alternate delegate to the National Convention, and that was for President Obama. And then 2016, I was able to become an alternate delegate again for Senator Clinton. Now, like so many people, we are unhappy that she lost, although won the general vote, the national popular vote, thank goodness, and very upset about how this current president is. We do not want him in office. I think he really wants to be king of the U.S., and he'd like to be king of the world, I think. He makes a mockery of the position. He mocks people. He belittles people. He doesn't fill government offices that need to be filled. He fires people. People don't want to work for him. And there's all kinds of people in the U.S. who need support, civil rights, all kinds of rights that are being trampled. And people around the world are dismayed with our government, with our president. And so we need a Democratic leadership now. We need a Democratic president. We need Joe Biden. So please consider voting for me as one of your 3 female candidates for delegate for CD1. Thank you very much.
We did it. Good job. Good job, Stephanie. Mahalo.
Mahalo.
Is Randolph Goldman in the room? How about Edward Hasegawa? And Lynn Hiakumoto? Okay. Well, we do have Tim Hogan. I know I've seen Tim Hogan in the room. Aloha, Tim.
Aloha, thank you. I want to ask for your support. I came to Hawaii in 1979 and worked at the Pier 7 and the Ilokai Hotel as a manager. I've worked in the hotel business, and eventually I went to law school here. I'm primarily a bankruptcy lawyer, a trial lawyer. I've been in politics since I was about 4 years old, driving around St. Louis County, Missouri with my father with bullhorns on the roof when he ran for city council. I was Teddy Kennedy's high school coordinator in 1970. I organized for Kerry. I've been a Democrat. My family are Democrats for several generations. I'm involved in this now because I believe that the damage that Trump is doing in national security and in the area of the Justice Department are shocking. And I want to have whatever input I can to try to put things right. I believe we're going to have problems in this campaign when we go. I believe we'll be interfered with by the GRU again. I spotted the GRU in May of 2016, and they're back. I want to warn you about Zoom, and somebody ought to listen to that. We are in a very dangerous place right now, and it's great to see so many people willing to jump in and get involved. I believe it's going to be a tough campaign, and I believe at every point in this campaign, it's going to be a rock fight. And that's why I'm here. I'm probably not as well known in local politics. I stay in only national politics and mostly national security. But I would be happy to represent the people of Hawaii in the convention, and I will represent them and make them proud that they sent me. But I will still work on this campaign. I will work every day to see that Joe Biden is elected and that we take the Senate and hold the House. And so this is the first step. We're just, it's a 9-inning game and we're still at batting practice. So I would like to ask for your support, and anything that anyone has any questions, feel free to contact me. Thank you very much.
Mahalo. Mahalo, Tim. All right, then Philip Stanley Jones, might he be in the room? Kainoa? Kameheiva Rego, is Kainoa in the room? I can't see everyone, so. Kevin Kekoa? No? Jimmy Coons? No? Vicky Lepik? Patrick Liu? Richard Mizuzawa. I know Amy Monk is here. Aloha, Amy.
Aloha, that came around really quickly. So, aloha everyone. It is so good to see old friends, new friends. Thank you very much to Aaron and Rich for getting us all together in this platform. Thank you, Lorna, for organizing. Wonderful job. So I want to say I'm so pleased how well the PPP went. As a donor and a supporter and observer, I was so pleased that this first time effort at all mail-in election, party election went off so well. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. I did send an email to as many people as I could, so I won't try to repeat all of that, except to say that I was born and raised in Hawaii. I was a Foreign Service officer and now retired. My interests are women's rights, and as such, I'm co-chair of the Women's Caucus. I'm also very much interested in the environment, and I'm on the board of an environmental group in East Honolulu. I'm also on the board of Planned Parenthood here. So those are my interests. They align very closely with the values of the Democratic Party. And that's what I want to say about that. So I'm going to do a little plug for something we can all do, and you can share with your friends for the Biden campaign. I found this sign. Can you see that? It says vote for Biden, and you can print this in your home. And I posted one in my window. I'm gonna take off this background so you can actually see what I'm showing you. Sorry, it won't let me do it. All right.
Amy, if you hold it in front of your face, we may be able to see it more. Nope, sorry, didn't help.
How's that? Okay, anyway, I have this in a file. You can get it for free. You can print it at home. You can share it with your friends and relatives. If they have an apartment, they can put it in their window. If they have a car, they can put it in the window. And it just shows your support. It doesn't take a lot of organizing, just print it at home. And I'd be happy to share it with you. And if Lorna would be so kind, I could share it with you and you could share it with everyone. It's a very easy thing to do on your own home printer. So that's my plug for Biden today. Thank you very much. I hope you will vote for me. And if I do not win, I want you all to go out and campaign for Joe Biden like democracy depended on it, because it does. Thank you.
Mahalo, mahalo. Thank you, Amy. I actually am not going to try to speak this name. I don't know, Tyler, you might be able to help me with it, but Obichang Onglungel he might be in the room. I don't know how to pronounce it. No? Jeffrey Portnoy, I see you. Aloha, Jeffrey.
Aloha. I don't know how to make this picture any bigger, but I'm not Jeffrey iPad. I'm Jeffrey Portnoy. I want to congratulate everyone who was chosen to run as a Biden delegate. I think it's very important, but we know now that he is the nominee. So it's not as if we're going to the convention to hope that our candidate becomes the nominee. In a minute, I'll tell you why I have put my name into this contest, but let me tell you a little bit about myself. I've been here 48 years. I am the senior litigator, 48 years now with the firm of Cade Schutte. My specialty, many of you may know, are civil rights. I have been appointed by various Democratic mayors and governors, starting with, I was the first male appointed to the Commission on the Status of Women. I've now been on the Board of Regents. I was appointed chair of the Neighborhood Commission. I was appointed to the Ethics Commission, so I have given much in 48 years back to the community. I also teach at the Richardson School of Law, where I teach First Amendment law, freedom of speech and press and assembly, and what could be more important right now in our country than people who are knowledgeable in these areas and can help frame a democratic platform that protects the rights of everyone while allowing people to peacefully demonstrate without the fear of being arrested or even injured. But why am I running? I think the most important thing for a Democrat, Biden or Sanders delegate is to bring the two camps together, not only in Hawaii, but nationally. As I said earlier, Biden is our nominee. I'm thrilled. I think Senator Sanders ran a great campaign, but we know that there are still some divisions within our party on issues. And the most important thing that a delegate to this convention will do is not to cast a vote for Biden. That's done. It's to work with the Sanders people to come up with a platform that will win this election. And I believe that after 48 years of mediating and arbitrating, that I can bring the two camps together and hope that we can work with all of the national delegates to come up with a platform that will guarantee both the Biden and the Sanders people the reason to go out and do everything they can to defeat Donald Trump. So if you want to know more about me, www.cades.com. Thank you for this opportunity. Good luck to everyone.
Mahalo, mahalo. Thank you. Thank you, Jeffrey. Well done. Aloha, Liza Ryan Gill. Liza, are you here?
I am. Aloha, everybody.
There you
Hi,
are.
Lorna.
How are you?
I'm here.
Good.
I'm doing very well. It's good to see your face. Thank you, everyone, and Aaron, and again, Lorna, for setting this up. My name is Liza Ryan Gill. My husband and I split our time between our family home in Tantalus and here in Palihua, where we oversee conservation work in the Waianae Mountains. I am asking for your support to be a delegate for the Biden campaign at the Democratic National Convention, because I believe that Biden is our best shot at beating Trump in this election. And we cannot afford even one more year of the Trump administration, as we have seen throughout this period of protest and him tear gassing protesters in the street for his photo ops. For the last 5 years, I've been working tirelessly as an advocate for immigrants and our most vulnerable populations here in Hawaii, including our keiki, who are being targeted by predatory companies such as Juul and other tobacco companies. I have not been that active in the Democratic Party for very long, because I spent my first 10 years of my career working in post-conflict states with refugees. And the reason why I want to be one of our delegates is because I have seen what a failed nation looks like and what division can cause. And I am very, very afraid that our country is headed not only is on that path, but if we do not do everything that we can stop it, then we may not have a democracy in several years from now. So I am asking for your support for that. Right now, I give my time between working on protecting our keiki in the state as the chair of the board for the Hawaii Children's Action Network Speaks, to endorse candidates that are putting working families first in our state, and also as the vice chair of the advocacy committee for the legal clinic with Amy Agbayani to support our more than 18% foreign-born people here in Hawaii. I am really excited. I thought that maybe this year I would be spending my summer working in swing states across the country, knocking on doors, hopefully speaking in Spanish and getting out the Latino vote and getting immigrants to vote. But now that that is likely not going to be the case, I want to do everything I can, from a digital platform to being in the convention, to make sure that every single person out there knows that they have a right to vote, that they have access to vote, and that we are getting people of color registered and mobilizing them in this election. So I would appreciate your support, or on any of these issues, if you want to reach out to me and be a part of our campaigns, I would love to meet you and get to know more members of the Democratic Party of Hawaii. So mahalo.
Mahalo, mahalo. Next, we have Bronson Silva. Bronson, you're still with us. Hello,
I am.
Bronson.
Hello,
Good
Lorna.
to see you.
Good to see you as well. First, I want to give a shout out to Lorna and the rest of the folks that are running these great Zoom meetings and giving us the opportunity to sort of voice our stance on a lot of issues. I do want to give another shout out and recognition to the many old-time Democratic Party members that really paved the way for some of our younger folks here to sort of just keep on fighting the good fight. I know I have Amy in the audience. She's been a huge mentor to me. I know Dolly Strazar, another great mentor for myself. So I did want to give a shout out to just some of those folks, but I know many of you folks that are in this meeting have made invaluable contributions to the Democratic Party in Hawaii and nationally as well. So a little bit about myself. I'm born and raised in Hilo. I'm a Hilo boy. Graduated from Kamehameha School's Hawaii campus, moved to Oahu, went to the University of Hawaii at Manoa, got my degree in Hawaiian Studies, and slowly got involved with the Democratic Party in a few different ways with the Hawaiian Caucus, Labor Caucus, and also served a term on the Manoa Neighborhood Board. And so I've kind of been on the sideline for the most part up until recently, where I've been given the opportunity to sort of step up to the plate. I'm finally in a place in my professional life where I can get more involved with things that I want to pursue. Recently, I was appointed to be the Deputy Administrator for the United Public Workers Hawaii by AFSCME. And so I'm employed by AFSCME, the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees. I'm actually an organizer, and I was just hired as an organizer back in March, right before the COVID-19 thing happened. Spent about a week and a half on the job, and then started teleworking. And then on May 1st, I got a call from the AFSCME president, Lee Saunders, saying he needs my help at UPW. The state director there, Dayton Nakanelua, and also an administrative officer there was removed for money mismanagement. And that's what I've been doing for the past month or so, is really working on rebuilding UPW, rebuilding transparency and trust with its members. And it's tough. I'm going to say I've only had maybe 2 days off in the month of May. And I've been going every day at UPW down at the building. And so I wasn't sure if I was going to be here today, but I do want to just close off with saying that AFSCME, my employer, has endorsed Joe Biden for president, and AFSCME represents 1.3 million workers across the United States, and having the force of the union, AFSCME, behind me, I would request and honor your endorsement to represent the people of Hawaii at the Democratic National Convention. Thank you.
Mahalo, mahalo, Bronson. Wonderful. Welcome to the party. Good to have you with us. Is Philip Simmons in the room? Philip is a conductor, I think. I was hoping he would be here. I never knew we would have a orchestral conductor. But he's not here. Okay, well, it's Larry Smith. Aloha, Larry.
Hopefully I'm not too scratchy here. So I'm Larry Smith, and I'm asking your support to be a delegate to the DNC. As a delegate, I see what we need to do is the Democratic Party needs to develop a platform that will allow Joe to beat Trump badly. It has to be a platform that will let us elect Democrats to control the Senate, to keep the House, and hopefully a platform that will let Democrats sweep all parts of the country, from the lowest city council members all the way up to the president. So we have to have a platform that will do that. As a delegate and as a member of the Democratic Party of Hawaii, I pledge to support the platform of the Democratic Party of Hawaii. I will conduct myself with the spirit of aloha as best I can, and will support Joe's campaign code. And Joe's campaign code says that as good Democrats, we will not talk stink about other good Democrats, and we will all pull together and we will win this thing. So that's how I will conduct myself as a delegate. I'm a lifelong Democrat. For about the last few years since I've been retired, I've really devoted myself to the Democratic Party. Locally, I'm currently the treasurer of the Democratic Party of Hawaii, and I'm the SEC representative for the Kapuna Caucus. I'm the treasurer for the LGBT Caucus, and I had the great pleasure of working with Lorna on the party-run presidential primary. That was a fantastic opportunity, a fantastic group of people, and I think showed our Hawaii Democratic Party to be very effective in doing this. You know, that's my background. I professionally was a hospital finance person when I was working, so I know a lot about Obamacare. Actually, my last big project before I retired was I worked for a component of the University of Washington system, and we worked to implement Obamacare. It took a long time, but at the end of it, almost everyone in the state of Washington has insurance coverage. So one of the big things I see as a delegate is enhancing and improving Obamacare. But the big thing as a delegate, I see our goal is to win, and to win big, get rid of Trump, and move forward with progress. So I would appreciate your support, and also join with me and Tyler, and I do also a lot of remote campaigning, and we can get you hooked up to text or to call all across the country. We need your help. Mahalo.
Mahalo, Larry. We could hear you well. Mahalo. Okay, is Jesse Suki here? Jesse Suki? Erica Tsuji? Osa, is Osa here? Osa Tui? Keone Williams. Did I see Keone Williams? No?
Yes, here.
Keone, I knew I saw your names. Good.
No worries.
Aloha. Aloha.
Hi, I'm Keone Williams. Echoing others, I just wanted to say thank you to Lorna and Aaron and the team for making this possible. A little bit about me. I'm born and raised in Manoa Valley, a proud public school system graduate, went to Noelani, Stevenson, and Roosevelt, then matriculated at UH Manoa, majored in Korean. Following graduation, I worked at Pacific Forum. It's a foreign policy think tank focused on the Asia Pacific here in Honolulu. I served as a director of their Young Leaders program, which aimed on basically developing a network of emerging leaders across Asia. But I had a pivotal moment while I was there after working there for 2 years. I did a research project on COFA migrants. And around the same time, the issues around the Real ID and those oversight issues also arose. And my mother's Chickees, I'm Micronesian American. And so I pivoted away from international relations when I realized that it was kind of an all hands on deck situation here at home for people that shared my cultural identity. I began working as an office manager at the state legislature. Worked for the chair of human services and homelessness, where I continue to work today. While working there, I also kind of grew into my role as kind of an advocate for the Micronesian diaspora. I partnered with We Are Oceania. I spoke at like the Micronesian Youth Summit. And my goal there was just to, similar to my role as director of the Young Leaders Program, foster next generation of leaders that share this cultural identity. Outside of that specifically, I'm passionate about energizing my generation to build a better future for this place we call home. I'm co-founder of Everyone Hawaii, which is a KAKO initiative that's made up of Hawaii's emerging leaders and influencers. We flew in 2 million face masks from China, partnered with the public and private sector to distribute it statewide. Now we're pivoting to voter participation and doubling down on efforts to get young people registered to vote. I'm running to be a part of this delegation because, as I said earlier, I think it's an all hands on deck situation. And I believe Biden is the man that will steer us towards a better future. And I believe I would bring a fresh perspective to that table. So I appreciate your support. Thank you.
Thank you. Mahalo, mahalo. Very well done. Thank you. And I think our last person is Becky Yoza, who's been waiting so patiently. Aloha, Becky. Where are you?
Hi. Aloha. Thank you, Lorna.
Hi.
Yeah, I always know I'll be last with Yoza. So I'm Becky Yoza. I live in Pearl City. I have been really involved up through the primaries, up through early March, but then the pandemic hit. So I've been volunteering doing COVID testing on Oahu and also the neighbor islands. I'm a nurse practitioner and a lecturer of nursing. So it's a little bit busy for us right now. So I work with vulnerable and underserved populations, both at Waianae Coast Comprehensive and also right now the Aloha Free Clinic that we started with Dr. Ireland and Lieutenant Governor Josh Green. I teach at Hawaii Pacific University, and so we're also partnering with them with our students. So I've been involved with training our nursing students that are graduating right now and entering the nursing profession in the middle of this pandemic. I grew up in an African-American community in Michigan. So I've spent literally my entire life using my privilege to amplify the voices of those who aren't being heard. So voter suppression really concerns me right now. And I can say that, you know, our communities are in pain right now because we're dealing with two pandemics right now, not just COVID, but also systemic racism, as we're seeing that kind of come to a head right now. As a nursing lecturer, I also try to instill, you know, critical thinking in my students, and I'm also seeing a concerning trend here in the U.S. right now of anti-intellectualism, anti-science, anti-expertise, which is not really where we want to be in the middle of a pandemic that's threatening all of us. I've lived in Hawaii for 10 years. My in-laws are here. My husband is Okinawan and family is Okinawan. My mother-in-law was actually in a prison camp in Okinawa during World War II. I think we really need to remember our history and let our, you know, the younger generations know about our history, because if we don't remember that, we're going to repeat it. So we must protect our vulnerable populations and come together as a party. No more division, no more hate speech, and we need to get Trump out of office. So we need to show up and come together and make Joe Biden the next president of the United States. Thank you.
Mahalo, mahalo, mahalo to all of you. And before you did also well, and you're just beautiful to look at too. You're just really terrific. I just wanted to talk about a few things now and about where we're going from here. And John Bickle is going to be involved with the delegate selection process going forward. So John will, can you say some words now, John?
Sure. First, just let me reiterate some things that have been talked about a little bit among some of your speeches, which you should know is what your duties are as a delegate, especially in this year, which we will have possibly not an in-person convention, possibly a partially in-person convention, and certainly some element of online convention. You still will have an obligation or an opportunity to vote for Joe Biden as nominee for the Democratic Party. You will, as has been mentioned, be voting for a platform, and that's an important vote, and I'm glad some of you have talked about that. Just as important, I think, are also you're going to be voting on the rules of the Democratic Party. We made some very significant rules changes when I was a delegate at the Philadelphia Convention in 2016, so that is kind of an important thing to think about is the rules. If there is some in-person action, one of the exciting things about being at a convention, having been at 2012 and 2016, is the ability to network, to get together with other people and make connections, to do things to build your party and to exchange ideas. I do also want you to think about being a delegate as beyond August. Think about what you're going to do to build the party beyond just getting Joe Biden nominated. We've got to get Joe Biden elected, and I'm glad some of you have talked about that. Let me go on to talk a little bit about what's going to happen next. The voting will continue until Monday midnight. There are 2 males and 3 female delegates from the 1st Congressional District for Joe Biden. They will be chosen and announced on Tuesday, June 9th. The SCC will then have the opportunity to elect plios, and there will be 2 plios for Biden, probably 1 male, 1 female. And I think Larry Smith is eligible. I'm not sure who else. You have to be a fairly high level member of the party. So if you're in the executive committee of the Democratic Party, or hold some high party office or an elected official, you have the opportunity to be a plio. Most of you probably are not eligible for that. And then some of you may have turned in your application as well, not only for this district level position, but also for the at-large. The at-large is to do affirmative action. We have affirmative action goals. For example, we want out of the 24 delegates to the convention, at least 8 of them to be under the age of 35. We always have a challenge filling that. So we'll be looking to try to do that through the choice of 6 at-large delegates. And then, of course, once we get all the delegates chosen, the district level, the at-large, and the plios, there will be a meeting of all the delegates who will choose the chair of the delegation. Traditionally, if the governor is a Democrat, that is the governor of the state, but the delegation actually has the right to choose their delegation chair. They'll also have the right to be able to choose some pages perhaps and do some planning for the actual convention. And hopefully by the time we get there, we'll have some knowledge of what's going to happen at the convention. At this point, it's still a bit vague, but that's what I know going forward. I thank all of you for running. I thank all of you for your commitment to the Democratic Party. And I look forward to working with you as we go forward. Lorna?
Hello, John. And now I'd also like to thank some of the people who made this all possible. We've got a terrific District 17 Zoom team made up of Karen Degner and Rich Halverson and Aaron Isgar. Thank you so much. We're all real novices at this, and Joe Francher, the OCC Assistant Treasurer, brought about this Zoom account, so thanks to him too. Some of you provided profiles for the candidate profiles, and Win Vong was from the Young Dems. Hawaii was wonderful in terms of collecting and putting all that together. And Lynn Hiokomoto helped with communications to everybody via email. And of course, Tyler Dos Santos Tam and Bart Dame for the Bernie Sanders committees did so much in terms of having a foresight to see that this is going to be an important thing for us to do. And we have done this because we are not having an in-person convention. And I think that by allowing us to see each other and hear each other talk, that there's some real promise in terms of just feeling for who we're voting for, and not just knowing it by seeing your name, but feeling for you as well. So I'd really like to give a big mahalo to them. The reason that we're doing it today, and I know there were some questions about this, is because we were originally going to do it yesterday, but when we found out that there was going to be a Black Lives Matter march yesterday, we postponed it to today. But I think that the combination of the profiles and this Zoom meeting, which will be distributed by Tyler to various sites, will be a good way of kind of giving face and voice to those candidates that who are running as delegates. And so from all of us who have been working on this to all of you, mahalo, 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 and good luck. We wish you well, and mahalo. So I think now we can sign off to our recorded.
Okay, I'll stop the recording now.